Hi guys, and welcome to another Platypus review. I thought I would do something that I literally ordered this week, and I'm just going to plonk it down straight underneath the camera, hopefully. Whoa, boom, and as you can see, straight away, it's a bad Squiddo order. Pretty simple. I just got myself a Raging Annie, and as I'm doing some Vikings, my wife's going to be using, she picked out the red Gamer's Grass flowers, which I'm going to be using with those. So check out my other tutorials about the Gamer's Grass. I've been using that to base the Saxons that I'm doing for a club event at Norwich Castle. So that's kind of pretty similar to the others I'm using, but I will do a quick review on that. And then obviously we've got the figure as well. But just so you see the kind of service you get, obviously I've got a nice little slip that says thank you. Or Danke in German, which is always good. And I got myself a little bag of tea. It's a tea bag. Yeah, which I'll have at some point whilst painting, because it's always useful. Just don't put it right next to your receptacle that you're going to use for your brushes, because otherwise it gets muddled up and yeah, your tea didn't taste so good. So what I was going to quickly do with this, there's not much as I can do in terms of a real comparison, but if you notice they're all in little tufts and clumps, which is almost exactly how you want it. I just want to compare it to the one from Army Painter, which there's no problem with, don't get me wrong, I use this quite happily, but as you'll see, it's rather than little tufts, it's just full clump, and rather than being sort of one sheet laid out like that, it's actually folded in half. I'll see, I'll show you. Just get this open. So yeah, you can see that they're not little tufts as such, and also it's across. I didn't even realise it was mixed. So there you go, there's white on one side and yellow on the other. So it was a mixed one. I'd have known that. So yeah, so it's not quite the same, it's not quite as nice as you can see underneath. It's again, I have no problem with either of them, but looking at the Gamer's Grass one, the tufts on their own right look better because they're standing up and they're separate and you're not having to tear clumps apart. So yeah, that's the grass done and out of the way. But let's go for Raging Annie. I'm gonna have to get her out of a bag. So obviously a 28/32mm miniature. If I line her up on here with her feet to the bottom, the top of her head is roughly around 30mm, which some people will say that means that she's 28 to the eyes or something, but that's just, yeah, whatever. In a normal range, it's perfectly fine. Just to compare her to a few things, I can grab my usual suspects, although not all necessarily sci-fi. That's a hassle-free fig. Put them there. So fits perfectly well with that. She's not much bigger. I mean, she's about as tall and the same sort of proportion. You would expect that because it's sculpted by Kev White, who's the same sculptor. So then I guess what I need to do is compare it to your normal Space Marine. And again, she's doing okay. I haven't actually built any of the new Necromunda figures, so I can't directly compare it to that because I haven't, that's where I'm planning to use her. Just so you're aware, I'm going to use her with this dude, who is going to be, they're going to be like the sidekick to Raging Annie. It's actually based on, although probably not the best representation of, one of her actual pet guinea pigs. So if I put that to one side, an Imperial Guardsman. Ooh, I'll find it on the camera. So I put it. So again, she works perfectly well for that scale. I reckon you could use her. I mean, I'm obviously going to use her as like a sort of hired scum bounty hunter style thing. I reckon you could probably use her with the Escher Gang as a Juve, or just as a slightly smaller fighter. I don't see there'd be any problem with that. I'm not really sure what else I could compare it to, but personally I really like her. she's really good. I'm going to see if I can zoom in just so I can give you a bit more on the detail of the figure. Again, it's a Kev White sculpt, so come on, you bugger, you know you want to, you come on, that's it. So you really can see the detail. Obviously I just need to trim off, there's a tiny little bit of flash there, but that's literally it. Again, actually, if you look at it, that'll just come off like that. It's a tiny little bit, it'll just need a little bit of neatening up, trimming off the last little kind of burry bits, but that's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. So yeah, it's a really nice mini. And she's going to be running around with the floof monster, sort of exacting their hits on the underhive for my collection. But if you've never seen Annie, then you might not get all the references, but she quite often wears this stuff as well. This is all like a homage to Annie, and the face is quite a good likeness too. And obviously on the back there's actually a baggie, which is one of her sort of, what would you call it, mascots. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to trimming off the slotter base to be able to stick it onto one of the GW bases. I had to resculpt him a little bit because when I did it to him, his foot was a little bit, I kind of boo-booed a bit. So yeah, that's a bad Squiddo mini, and long may it continue. I shall be getting more in the future, no doubt. If you want to find out more about Bad Squiddo, then there's going to be some links at the bottom in the description for you to go and have a look. She's got a Bad Squiddo Twitter, and she's got a Bad Squiddo Facebook page, and of course the shop as well. So go hit up Google and you'll find it. But I'll put the links down there just to make it easy. So I'll do some comparison shots as I normally do, and I'll stick them on the end. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye now.